Hey, I'm gonna go over and show you how to pull leads from PropStream for people that aren't sure what filters to put on. So I had someone reach out about Indiana, so I'll do Indiana real quick. So we'd search Indiana. Once we search it, we'll go to filters here. You can pick some preset filters, but it's best to go through to make sure it's everything you want. So we'll click filters to put on. I recommend starting with vacant properties. And also these are preset filters as well, but you still may want to add different details to your list to get a nice niche list. But so we'll select vacant. Once that goes through, you can see it loading here and say about how many vacant properties are there. It's about 13,600, but we only want to do residential. Now, out of residential, you can pick single family and condos. You can pick as many of these as you want. I stick to single family. Sometimes I add condos. It just depends on the area if you're familiar with it or not. Condos aren't bad as well. There just aren't that much of a profit spread in condos. So we'll just do single family for now. But keep in mind, condos aren't bad. So we're doing single families. You can justify or pick specific bedroom bathrooms. I know most families, traditional houses now are about 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. But we're just looking for a deal. So we're going to just go through. Remember, we only want off-market properties. So this should drop this number even more. Nothing about the MLS. We don't want to mess with it. Owner occupied. Remember, we want vacant. But it just depends on how small it makes your list. So we'll put that. Now, since we already picked a pre-filter up there, vacant, if we put yes, it's not going to change that any because we're already under vacant. So it doesn't matter for that one. Years of ownership, this is up to you. Again, if you want to make your list even nicher and have a smaller list data size, cool. If not, you want to just throw out as many as you want, then we could keep it like that so we don't have to do years of ownership. I do years of ownership depending on different list types that I'm doing. Like if I do senior citizen, I may pick multiple years of ownership showing that they've owned it for a while. Now this is another important one, especially when you go to skip tracing. A lot of skip trace companies don't do corporate. They don't look up those phone numbers, so I would always just put individual. We always want individual owners. We don't want to do with a corporate because a lot of times corporate companies are a lot more savvy with numbers as well, and it's hard to get a good deal out of them. Out of state owner, this is good sometimes if you want to do a niche list, but I'm not selecting anything there. And that's pretty much it. You can change and play with equity just to make sure they do have some equity in the property. This goes hand in hand with years of ownership as well sometimes, because if they owned it for a while, they have a nice amount of equity. Sometimes I put about 50% equity in it just to make sure it's a good deal where the owner can make money and I can make some good money because they have a lot of equity in the property to play with it. Here, let's do it for example. I'll put 50% equity at least, see how much that drops. So with 50% of equity in the property, that means the property is more than half paid off. Now, if you only did 10% or 20%, it's not that much equity in the property. Let's see. That's pretty much it. So now we can view our properties. We have about 2,000 good leads of potential properties that, are in need of some type of rehab for your buyer. Like this looks pretty good right here. You can see it's, just a boarded up property. So it looks like a good price point. This one looks pretty cheap. So that's just some things you could do to play with to find your niche list. All right. Hope that helped you out a lot.